Did you know that most diabetics are making a critical mistake that's silently destroying their kidneys? You probably never thought about it, but you might, some diabetics might just be focusing on blood sugar and they don't do anything else about what is happening to their kidneys. They are overlooking certain things that is very bad to their kidneys. And today we are going to talk about it.
So by the time most people realize it, the damage is already done. But the good news is you can stop this before it's too late. In today's episode of Life and Health Show, we are exposing the number one mistake diabetics make that leads to kidney failure and how you can protect yourself starting now.
Oh, come on, man. Start them now, right now. All right. So stay with us. Why? Because what you actually are about to see is going to be something that could help save your kidneys and your life. So, with that being said, we want to hit a break and we want you to definitely invite somebody and bring people on board so we can enjoy this live show together. All right, those who are watching on TikTok, share and like with the thumbs up. All right, welcome back right now. Welcome back right now. So, what are we talking about today? So, today we are actually talking about what 90% of diabetics get wrong about kidney damage. What 90%? Close to 90, probably even more. What they get wrong about kidney damage.
So, what you will learn in this video includes the number one mistake most diabetics make that harms kidney function.
And then we will also learn how blood sugar and high blood pressure silently destroy your kidneys.
And we also talk about key diet changes that can slow or even prevent kidney disease.
All right, that's what we are actually going to focus on. So grab your chair, grab your piece of paper if you want to jot some points down, and then comment as we move forward. So let's begin with the number one mistake that diabetics make, that harms their kidney function. So, what's actually the number one mistake, if you may ask, or if I may ask you, what is the number one mistake that every diabetic or potentially most diabetics are making? It is neglecting blood sugar and blood pressure control. That is exactly what is happening. That's the number one. Number one, I mean, on top of every other error or mistakes that people are making, those who are hurting their kidneys are neglecting their blood sugars and their blood pressure.
Okay, so many diabetics focus only on lowering blood sugar, but overlook high blood pressure, which is a silent killer for the kidneys. Right?
Yep, definitely. High blood pressure is a silent killer for the kidneys and most other important organs. But on this particular episode, we want to focus on the kidneys, right? So, high blood pressure as well as high blood glucose. So, what we're going to do is to talk to you about the fact that if you are already diabetic or if your your blood sugars are already on the higher side, maybe you've not been diagnosed as a diabetic and you are pre-diabetic, or occasionally they say you have hyperglycemia. You're not full-blown diabetic yet. Tell you what is happening is a process we call atherosclerosis. And atherosclerosis basically means that with time, especially with high blood sugar levels, plaques are deposited in your arteries, your pipes that contain the blood that flows around. They become compromised due to the high sugar content. You begin to deposit plaques, and the plaques make your arteries very rigid. And when they are rigid, obviously, rigid means they don't expand, they are not relaxing. And so it becomes stiff. When they are stiff, then your heart has to beat about with higher pressure in order to get blood moving around. So people who are diabetic or who have high blood glucose levels typically end up with high blood pressure. So that is something that we should definitely keep in mind. If you're already diabetic, if you're not already hypertensive, which is high blood pressure, you may already be at risk for that just because of this short process that I have explained.
Yeah, so the question here is, why is high blood sugar and high blood pressure dangerous for the kidneys?
Uh,
Right? So high blood sugar damages the small vessels in the kidneys, making them less effective at filtering waste because of the deposition of the sugar in the arteries. It makes it less effective.
Yeah, because the fine arteries in your kidneys are compromised, just like I explained earlier, right? They have, because of the high sugars in your blood, you begin to destroy the fine vessels in your kidneys, and that makes it unable to do its job by filtering the waste, right? And so the other thing that happens then is, that you talk about the sugar side, high blood sugar. Well, what about high blood pressure? High blood pressure also, on the other hand, worsens the damage. That little damage that has occurred because of the sugar, high blood pressure makes it even worse by forcing the kidneys to work even harder, leading to what we call chronic kidney disease, and even sometimes eventually to kidney failure. And you don't want to get there.
So the question is again, what should you do to protect your kidneys? The first thing is to know your numbers.
And that's a very important point. First thing, so we are not just pointing to you. We are not just pointing to you that high blood sugars not controlled and high blood pressure is not controlled will lead to kidney damage. We are also telling you what to do to avoid it. So I mean,
So the knowing your numbers, by checking your blood pressure as often as possible. We are encouraging you. I think the previous shows we encourage you to get your machine at home so that you can measure the blood pressure. You try as much as possible to have an idea where you stand when it comes to blood pressure. And we also encourage you to test your blood glucose. Even if you're not diabetic, once a while, have an idea where you are. If you're someone that visits the doctor frequently, when you go, I think it's one thing that they do. If they forget to do, you just have to let them do it so that you know your A1C as much as possible.
definitely. So yes, the first thing is to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, it's like you have already filled the battle. You don't even know if your pressure is too high if you are not checking it. You're not even sure if your sugars are so high if you are not checking it. And so the first thing to do, the first step is to know how high is your blood sugar, how high is your blood pressure. And like she said, for some people, they find out at their annual visits to the doctors, right? And the doctors may tell them, hey, we did your annual check and this came up, too high, your sugars are a little too high, or your pressure is too high. But if you are not going to the doctors, as some people are fond of doing, oh, I don't get sick. So as for me, and we brag about it, me 5 years, I have not been sick. I haven't seen the doctor in 5 years. Well, that is okay, except that it's not okay. Come on, man. Why? Because you don't know what is happening. You have no idea what is going on in your body. Not being sick with the flu, not being sick with pneumonia, not being, acutely ill does not mean everything is okay.
Right.
And so the first key is to know your numbers, which begins by seeing a doctor at least once a year. And if you get diagnosed, then of course you got to check. You have to check. You have to have the blood pressure monitor. You have to have a blood glucose monitors so you can consistently check, because then something can be done about it. And if you do, so right now, let's assume that you will check. Then what you look at is to control both your blood sugars and your blood pressures to a goal that mostly we say that for your A1C, which is the average of about 3 months check of your blood glucose level, to be less than 7%. Some places are even more stringent. They will say less than 6.5 or less than 6. But at least that's the starting point. If your A1C, which is a 3-month measure of your blood glucose, is less than 7%, that's what we want to do. And if you don't see your doctor in 3 months, you can see it. So somebody that will find this number will only be the one that sees the doctor, right? And then also your blood pressure must be less than 130 over 80. We have some caveats. I don't know if you want to add anything, but I have some caveat today.
Yeah, so if you're diabetic, then you aim for your blood pressure being around 130 and 180. I know some doctors may say that 140 is okay for some cases. So you go with what the doctor says is okay. But if you don't have diabetes and you're overall healthy, you shoot for the normal, which is 120 over 80.
Definitely. That's 120 over 80. Unless, again, you have been diagnosed with long-standing or long-term hypertension, as she said, and, it is difficult to bring it down to 130, then, as she said, they may hit you at 140 over 80 or over 90, depending on your case. But ideally, for a newly diagnosed diabetic, the idea is to bring it down to 130 over 80 so that you will be on point at protecting your kidneys. Remember, we want to watch out for that kidney that is there, because diabetes has a notorious, risk of damaging your kidneys if your pressures and your sugars are high, right? I think that is the key here that we want to talk about.
And also, like if you are a diabetic, you don't wait for the 3 months to come to know that you are below 7, right? So it's a daily monitoring. So you wake up in the morning. Some doctors encourage you, if you're diabetic, to check your sugar in the morning and before bedtime, so that you have an idea where you are. It's not just testing or checking for checking's sake. So if the numbers are too high, this is a time that you have to modify your diet so that you fall within the normal range as much as possible, because the A1C is 3 months, average. But if you are able to monitor day by day, you don't wait to get to the 3 months appointment for the doctor to tell you that you are over, because you are monitoring daily. So you just don't wait. You just have to try as much as possible to adjust things as the day goes, so that at the end of 3 months, your numbers will be on point.
Definitely. So that's the first thing about what to do. The first thing is to monitor. Check that blood pressure. Check that blood sugar. Don't let things happen without you knowing. And if you know, we gotta saying that if you know, you know, right? Come on, man. Man, if you know your blood pressure, then you know what to do.
Yep.
And if you know your blood sugar, then you know what to do, right? But before we go forward, I got some comments here. Let's hit some of them. Sister Equip Institute saying something. Where did the comment go now? Put it on. Right. She's saying that really that's a power couple teaching us. Thank you for joining us today also. All right. And then she said it's until it is not okay. I don't understand it. Maybe the context is lost. It's until it's not okay. So I'm pretty sure it was a follow up on something that we missed. And then we have Richards. I don't know why my comment is not showing here. Richards is also saying that good job. All right, he's also calling from Facebook. He said, good job. I will watch later. I have to go. All right. We will see you later on that one. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, so the next thing that you can do to protect your kidneys if you have high blood sugar or diabetes, or for that matter, for anybody else, is
So you want to limit processed foods and excess salt, which contributes to kidney stress. So if you have diabetes, your kidneys are already working overtime. So these two factors make the job even harder. If you're diabetic and you have high blood pressure, and on top you are eating processed foods and you are increasing your salt intake, it makes the kidney work very hard.
Very, very hard. And let's actually spend some more time on that. Capacity says that not knowing your numbers is okay until it is not. Come on, man. Not knowing your numbers is okay until it's not okay. And the sad thing is, you will find out either way. Even though you may not know now, when it gets really bad, you will know. But it may be too late. So that's a really, really good point. It is okay until it's not, right?
Yeah.
That is very, very important to, have in perspective what is actually going to be going on. See if I can switch to a place where we can show our, what do you call it?
Comment.
Comments here.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. All right, so the more about the processed foods, right? Processed foods are loaded with unhealthy fats as well as artificial additives and even hidden sugars. These do not only spike your blood sugar, but they also cause inflammation and what we call oxidative stress, which all together work to damage the delicate blood vessels in your kidneys over time. So if you're eating processed foods, don't think like people like a quick grab and go, but remember that in the long run, you are damaging the delicate, blood vessels in your kidneys over time. And you don't want that to happen because, if you talk to somebody who is on dialysis or somebody who is waiting for kidney transplant and other people, I know a person who has struggled with this and it is not easy. It's as common as, because people don't usually go about telling people what they are going through. We take things for granted, but we should not. So processed foods are some of the things that will definitely hurt you. So as she said, your first thing is to stop processed foods. I mean, it's not the first thing. No, first thing is what to know, and then to control it is the second thing. Now, more specifically, stop processed foods.
Yeah, so and processed food sometimes have all extra salt, like you said, and sometimes people just increase their salt intake. They love salt so much. Every food, they even if it's okay, they will still add a little bit of salt. So you have to try as much as possible to reduce the amount of salt that you take. So because too much sodium raises your blood pressure, putting extreme strain on your kidneys. So you don't want that strain to be too much for your kidneys to be able to handle. So cut down on salt. High blood pressure is actually one of the leading causes of kidney disease in diabetics.
That is serious. High blood pressure. It is one of the leading causes of kidney disease in diabetics. So diabetes by itself is not an easy thing. But then if you add on top of it high blood pressure, then you let your kidney go even faster. Because remember, the sugar itself is causing damage. And then if you let your blood pressure
Salt.
also go with the salt, then it's a quick grab and go for your kidneys. It will destroy them quick. That is why a lot of people with diabetes have kidney disease on top, especially towards the decades after they have diabetes. So it is no fun. But that being said, even without diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, it is not something to play with, because I know somebody who is on dialysis who doesn't have diabetes, but her uh, um, kidney disease came as a result of high blood pressure
And processed
and
foods, right?
processed food. So if you do not take care, you can. And this person actually told me how much they used to eat processed foods, like all these fast foods that we see around, without paying more attention to their blood pressure. So it is very serious. We may laugh and hit a bell here and there, but we're talking some serious stuff. Watch out the processing of the foods you eat. And we're going to be suggesting some ideas as we go forward. And even I think next week we're going to talk about foods to actually eat, to avoid this. But for now, let's continue some of the other ideas to do that will help you avoid, kidney disease with blood sugars and all that. So here's the good news, though. We don't want to sound all that, yeah. Reducing processed foods and also cutting back on salt can significantly lower your risk of kidney damage, no matter whether you're diabetic or not. As long as you reduce your intake of processed foods, you are definitely going to cut back your risk at damaging your kidneys. And then, so the way you do, as I said, is to focus on the fresh whole foods, fresh foods or whole foods. Your greens, your the foods that nobody has added anything to. That's as easy as that. If you talk about non-processed foods, it is grabbed from the root or from the leaf, and it's washed and it's cut into pieces, and you are eating it. Nothing processed about it. That's what we can do. I mean, it sounds like it's hard, but those who live simple lives, they don't eat as processed foods as as we see around. So instead of flavoring your meals, doing adding more salts, everything,
More spice.
more spice, everything you want to taste some spice and some salt. Come on, man, give your tongue a break. Give your tongue a break and give your kidneys a break, as a matter of fact, so that you don't end up with any such serious things.
Yeah, you can also use the natural herbs,
Mhm.
right? The natural form of it instead of going for the processed spices,
Yes.
which is full of salt
Mhm.
and other additives. So, small changes like these can protect your kidneys and keep them functioning for years to come.
Mhm.
So, stick around next week, like you said,
Mhm.
we will try and talk about foods that will help your kidneys function better.
Definitely. Next week we're going to do just for that one. We didn't want to add it to this. It would take too long. We're going to just hit on the how to stop them, and then basically have another time just to go into details with these foods, right? All right. So the next thing is to what do you call it? To protect your kidneys. Stay hydrated.
I think somebody.
Stay hydrated
Yeah.
to protect your kidneys. Stay hydrated. In other words, do not be dehydrated. Come on, man. Right?
Yeah, I think Serenity brought that point up. Yeah.
Somebody brought that point out.
Yes.
Oh, can drinking water help? Oh, come on.
Your
She
sugar
was there
level.
before we even got there. Come on, that's good. That's really, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Stay hydrated. And we're saying what? To avoid, I mean, when we say stay hydrated, though, we got to be also careful. We also want to make sure that for people who have a compromised kidney, or people whose kidneys are already compromised, they already have kidney disease or kidney damage, whether because of past issues with their blood pressure or past issues with their diabetes, then we'll go into it more. So it's not like drink, drink, drink. We tell you what to do in that place where you still have to be hydrated, but not overly drinking or overly hydrated for you to even put more strain on your kidney. So that you should know. But did you know that dehydration is one of the biggest hidden threats to your kidneys? Dehydration, whether it is from intake of too much sugar or too much salt or not drinking enough, it is one of the hidden threats to your kidneys. The kidney wants to be fluidized all the time, so your kidneys need water to flush out toxins or poisons and keep your body in a state of balance, right? And without enough hydration, waste is going to build up. That is why people, who are on dialysis, that's the whole point, is to go and remove the waste so that their kidneys will function proper if they have any, functioning kidney remaining, or, to ensure that they don't build up more waste. So kidney function starts to decline if you are dehydrated, and you don't want that to happen to you. No, definitely not.
Yeah, but here is the key. Not just any fluid will do.
Oh, come on, man. Not just any fluid. I thought fluid is fluid.
Not just any fluid. So sugary drinks, sodas, and excessive caffeine can actually harm your kidneys. So instead, you aim for clean, fresh water throughout the day.
Clean, fresh water throughout the day. So no sodas. No extra caffeine, because caffeine is water, right? No extra caffeine. No extra sugary drinks of any kind. Not even juice.
Not
Oh,
juice.
come on, man. Not juice.
Try to cut down the sugar. So
Yes.
not juice.
Yes. People think that because it's from an apple, it's not. But we have said and over, just drink plain old water,
Yes.
and that is enough to hydrate you. And as a matter of fact, you should be looking at drinking a good 8 to 10 cups per day for your fluids, if your kidney function is fine. And also depending on where you may be at on your activity level, depending on the climate, maybe in a tropical area when it's really hot, you probably may need more than the 8 or 10 cups because you are sweating all the time, right? And then in a place like we are, especially in the winter, you may not need as much water because you are barely perspiring. It's all the water is inside, and you don't usually drink much. So depending on the area, but a good rule of thumb is 8 to 10 cups per day would do a good job for you. And of course, it also depends on your individual health needs, and in particular, if you have some kind of a kidney issue going on, there may be a change because you may be fluid restricted. Your doctor may say don't drink too much because of that.
Yeah, and don't just chug it all at once.
Don't drink it all at once. Oh,
Don't
come on,
drink it
man.
all at once. It's a good practice to sip water consistently throughout the day to keep your kidneys working smoothly. Also, look out for your urine color. Pale yellow is a good sign of proper hydration.
Pale
Yes,
yellow.
pale yellow. So if you go to the bathroom and you pee and you think that it's on the
Dark.
darker side, too much yellow, then it means that you're not hydrating enough. So having a little pale yellow when you urinate will be an idea that you are staying hydrated.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Pale yellow, it's a good idea. Pale yellow is a good idea. If your urine is really dark right now as we speak, you need more fluids. As long as it's dark, trust me, you need more fluids. Maybe you could increase by a cup and see 1 cup per day more. If your fluid, I used to work in a place, and when somebody goes to the restroom and they don't flush, and you go and you see the kind of pee that was left in there, you are like, man, did the soda they drank just come right out and they peed it out? So dark. Such a person is not drinking any fluids. It has to be pale yellow, as a good rule to say that you are fairly hydrated. Yeah. So if it is once a while and it's not medication, induced, then it's okay. But if all the time you pee is really dark, um, you got to watch out. Either you should see your doctor because it may actually be blood coming out through, or from the dehydration itself. So that's very important. We have another. I don't know why my scene is not showing up. I got to be able to show my thing here. All right. So we are going on, but I just wanted to um,
Get to the
get
questions
to
later.
get to okay, we'll come to the questions later, so we need to keep them coming and keep the comments coming. Those who are commenting on the YouTube, we will touch on the questions as we go. It's my turn still, right? Yeah, so staying hydrated, as I said, is the simplest way to actually get yourself from dehydration to hydration, to being fully hydrated, and it protects your kidneys against all those damage that could happen as a result of dehydration. But what if you already have a kidney disease or compromised kidneys? That's the key that I said we want to touch on. So for somebody who's already had diabetes for a long time, or they had hypertension for a long time, and their kidney is already, in a compromised state, what do you do? Let's talk about that, right? So for such a person, what you do is to make sure that you are drinking water. Your water drinking is as simple as, it's not just as simple as drinking more, but I don't know how to say it. It's a way, it's a balancing act, because you need to ensure that your kidneys don't struggle to filter the fluids that you are taking in. So too much could be a problem, and then too little can also cause a problem. So you definitely have to be careful with that, following your doctor's recommendations. It's not just here because we need you to be hydrated, drink. No, it takes a little bit to do that.
Yes, so too little water can lead to dehydration and further kidney strain, while too much water, like you're saying, can cause fluid overload, leading to swelling, high blood pressure, and even heart complications.
My
So
goodness.
there should be a balance if you have kidney problems or kidney issues.
Yeah. So what do you do then? What do you do? Well, I think that the first thing is to follow your doctor's fluid recommendations. We want you to be fairly hydrated. We say drink 8 to 10 cups per day. But if you have a kidney issue already going, the first key is to follow your doctor's fluid recommendations. They may say drink less. They may say drink more. Whatever they say, that is what you want to go with, because of your peculiar situation. You can't just drink and drink and drink because we say so. There are other techniques that you can do, because, and it also depends on the stage of your kidney disease. If you have stage 1 kidney disease, stage 2, stage 3, whatever situation your kidneys are in, that's going to detect how much fluid you are going to be able to take on. And so work with your doctor, especially with your kidney doctor, and ensure that you are not overloading or dehydrating. It's got to be a balance there.
Yeah, so a good tip is to spread it out throughout the day. You spread the intake throughout the day, so you avoid drinking huge amounts at once, and keep track of all the fluids that you are taking for the day. So if you drink more soup, or you eat fruits, fruits has fluids in there too. Even ice, you take account of all that, so that together you will know how much fluids or how much water you're taking, so that you follow exactly your doctor's recommendation for the daily amount of fluids that you need.
Thank you, thank you. I see some likes and thumbs up on TikTok. I like that. Keep doing that. Yes, 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 yes. We see that, and I know we can't see your questions there, but hopefully you can hear the questions that other people are asking when we go to the questions and contributions. And also, to go back, be mindful of hidden sodium. Again, from a processed foods.
Processed foods.
And this is for a person who has a compromised kidney. Your your doctor has told you you're renal insufficient. You have a CKD, a chronic kidney disease, or you have the beginnings of it. Make sure that you watch how much sodium. This is a person that has to look on every label, every food label, and see how much sodium, and take the ones with the least amount of sodium, because sodium is salt, and it's going to make you thirsty. And then when you are thirsty, you're going to drink more, and that can cause fluid retention, because your kidneys can't clear the salt because it's compromised, and so you don't want that to happen. So you definitely need to read labels and ensure you are not taking in more salt or more processed foods in that regard.
Yes, so managing hydration with compromised kidneys is a balancing act. You work with your doctor, monitor your intake, and listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Come on, man. Listen to your body.
So a little awareness goes a long way in protecting your kidneys. So you have to be aware how you feel. Are you feeling thirsty more often? Or you don't feel thirsty? Do you know how much you're taking during the day? So through it all, you can make a found more like a good decision in how to go about your fluid intake.
Because of your compromised kidneys, right? And it's not the end. Trust me. If you have kidney issues, you can save the little life you have in your kidneys by doing the necessary things that you are being told, keeping your sugars down and keeping your blood pressure on check. Because those are the things that directly go there. Apart from drinking salt or drinking
Drinking
or
salt.
sodium, yeah, eating too much salt. I mean, if your pressures are controlled and your sugars are controlled, you are definitely going to keep the life of the remaining kidneys, or the remaining strength for a long time. And most people only need one kidney to be able to survive anyway. So if you can take these measures, you are going to be able to survive for a long time without those complications. But that being said, we also have another point, another important thing you could do, and that is to get regular kidney function tests, what we call, filtration tests, creatinine clearance, protein in urine, all those things that can determine or tell you that your kidney is doing fine or worse. So, and again, if you are frequent with your doctors, they may be able to tell you this. And if they are not, you can ask, especially if you're diabetic or you have hypertension for years. You should be able to ask your doctor, how's my kidneys? You can just ask them, can you do a kidney function test on me? I want to know how I'm filtering stuff out. What is the life? What's the health of my kidneys? And it would not be far-fetched, because it is something that you can do. Yeah. Yeah. So now let's talk about some of the questions. I don't know why I can't post my thing on the I'm missing something here. Anyway, let's read it, and then so Miss My Serenity, we remember your contribution, your donation last time.
We appreciate
We appreciate you. I was wondering why I haven't seen you on the live for a long time, but thank God you are back today. All right, so before that, let's see. I think, can drinking water help sugar level? Okay, that was another question, right? Let's start. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, so this is one we read.
Yes.
Can drinking water help with sugar level? Yes, we said that it will not necessarily help with your sugar level, but it will make your kidneys able to clear stuff. So you won't be dehydrated, and that is where we want you to be. If you are dehydrated, it's something harmful for your kidneys. So in order not to be dehydrated, you got to be, drinking more water, 8 to 10 cups, unless your doctor says otherwise, for your health. That will be what you want to do all the time. Whether you are not diabetic or you're diabetic, just being hydrated all the time is the way to go. Unless, again, you are told to cut back on water because of your kidney function, right?
So, like, we are recommending 8 to 10 cups of water a day if overall you are healthy.
And then the other question is, let's see, shop the outer ring of the grocery store. It's a contribution from Equip Institute. This is Florence. Say, shop the outer ring of the grocery store and stay out of the middle aisles
Oh,
while all the while all, I think it means where all the processed foods and additives are to go, to the produce section and shop lean
lean
protein.
protein.
Yes. Man, Florence pays
Yes,
attention to where they
like
actually start too.
you can see that the processed foods and the unhealthy foods are right in your face when you enter the grocery store.
I think that's what she's trying to point us
Yes,
to.
so you have to pay attention and go to the area that has the healthy stuff, the produce section and the lean protein section, and stay there and do most of your shopping and stay away from all the processed foods.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's good
important.
advice.
That's
Yeah.
very important, right? Let me see if I can. I know why that's not working. Okay, so the next one is my serenity. So we are reading questions and comments. If you have any questions, you can also put it on the chat, whether you are right now or watching on the live or you watch later. All right, so the next question is, what is a normal glucose level after eating dinner? Come on, man. All right. So we call something that's what we call postprandial glucose.
Right.
If you are not a diabetic already, your number should be less than 200. Less than 200 right after you eat any meal. If it is more than 200 after you eat, then it is creeping into the diabetes portion. So that is what we will say. But we don't want anybody to stay home and self-diagnose. We want, if you are thinking that there may be something wrong, you are peeing a lot, you're waking up to pee so much, and you are thirsty all the time. You are peeing so much, you are thirsty all the time, you are shaky sometimes when your sugar drops, when you're hungry. All those may be signs. Sweating too, signs that you may be diabetic, but you don't want to stay home and use that as a reason to diagnose, because some of the symptoms of high blood glucose levels may actually also be mimicking other symptoms. So you don't want to self-diagnose. So if you feel that there's something wrong and you are not sure, we would definitely encourage you to go to the doctors. Of course, you can test at home, but it wouldn't be as accurate as being tested in the hospital. They will check for, they can do glucose tolerance test, give you a lot of glucose for you to drink and test your sugar and see how you're doing after that. Or they can do fasting glucose test that you can do at home too. If you have a blood glucose machine, you wake up in the morning, you check your blood sugar before you eat and see how high it is. And that one, if it is more than 120, that also suggests that your sugars are too high. So usually between 90 to 110. If it creeps beyond 120, then you may be hitting onto the diabetes area, especially if it is consistent. If it just happened once in a blue, that's what we call pre-diabetes. You are not really there yet, but if it is consistent, or consistently when you finish eating, your sugars are over 200, then you know that diabetes is there. So that is what we will say. And it depends also on the area you're watching us from. I don't know if Serenity is in the US. We are using US numbers. If you are in Europe, the numbers may have to be divided by a factor to bring it to the numbers that you guys are used to, call it, the SI units. In the US, we still use the old numbers, so that is what that is. But you can always convert it, find a factor. I think you divide by 18 or something, and you'll be able to figure out what that is in your area.
Yeah. And after testing and you know that you are not in the normal range, it's not just doing it. There are changes that you have to apply, So it's very good to know the numbers, but knowing is not enough,
Come on, man. No, it's not enough. You got to know and take action, right?
To adjust certain things, Last, I think we had a video that what are the things that you can do to be able to control the numbers, So if you test and you know that the numbers is more than what is expected, what are the things that you have to do differently? What do you have to do? Do you have to cut down on the carbohydrates? You have to cut down on the sugars, and a lot of exercise also take the glucose out from the bloodstream. So what are the things that you can do differently when you realize that the numbers are too high or the numbers are not within the range? Then you try and modify things so that you stay within the expected range if you're diabetic.
Definitely. That's what's up. All right. So, what is the next question here?
Is coconut water okay?
It's coconut water okay? You understand that? Can start. So, coconut water is okay if it is natural. You are not adding anything to it. You are drinking it from the coconut itself, and you are not diabetic. I got to say, and you are not diabetic because if you drink too much, it tends to have sugar in there, and you don't want to be drinking too much of that because that could raise your blood sugars, right? So the key is to ensure that you are drinking moderately, and if it is moderate drink, then of course coconut water will be good, except that if you are diabetic, you should not be drinking it all the time. You could use it as a hydration a fluid when you have exercised and you need some fluid instead of drinking some sugar sugar added, processed drink, then your coconut water may be something good.
Yeah. It has electrolytes and natural sugars.
Yes.
And sometimes too, we sell the coconut water in grocery store, and sometimes they have hidden sugars.
Oh my goodness.
They have hidden sugars in there. So if you are going to buy the coconut water, the best one would be buying the natural coconut, and maybe if you visit the tropics, they have it right there. So that one you're drinking it straight from the cup, like the fruit, right? That is better. But if it's in the can, you have to watch out for the added things, the added sugars in there. And that's the thing that you want to stay away from. If they have processed it and they've added other things with it, then that wouldn't be something we recommend. I think with our discussion, we go for the old, like what, natural water.
Natural coconut water.
No, just the plain water. You will never go wrong with plain water.
You will never go wrong with plain water. Why? Because plain water has no sugar added. God's own sugar is in there, and it tastes good all the time. If you begin to do certain things with sugar, then you have to watch. Watch how much. Because for diabetic, somebody who drinks coconut water can tip off their sugars so high. And so if you don't want to be, having to chase yourself around, then of course doing the natural water would be what you want to do. Except when you have basically done exercise and you really need some energy on board and you can use that, that's fine. So that's what I think I would also say to that. All right, any other questions?
The last one, do we pee out sugar?
Do we pee out sugar? Man, that's another good question. That's another good question. Yes. And with that, yes, I would say we pee out sugar if you are diabetic. If you are not diabetic, you don't pee out sugar. The only time sugar begins to appear in your pee or in your urine is if it is in excess for your body to clear, then it has to come out through your urine. As a matter of fact, some old folks before conventional diabetes test was happening, people used to pee on the floor to see if ants will go on it. And then if ants don't, then they think, oh, because ants are chasing my pee, there's sugar in there. So that means that sugar can appear in your pee. But that is when you are diabetic or your sugars are not
Not
controlled well.
controlled.
If your sugars are controlled, it shouldn't appear in your pee. It should be able to be converted into glucose, into energy for your body to use, because all the insulin in your body will convert it all up. And if it's above what your body can handle, then it has to find a place to come out. And that is a sign where it appears in your pee. That becomes a sign of diabetes right there. So that is what I would say to that. I don't know if you have anything to add to that. All right. And I think that was the last question there. And the people who are watching on Facebook, I haven't seen any questions yet. Do as the Anna do, hit the thumbs up. People watching from LinkedIn, do hit the thumbs up. Wherever you are watching from, hit the thumbs up, and the like TikTok, hit the thumbs up. I see Evelyn, Japoi, on there. I see Linda, Mavis. I see you all right there. Hit the thumbs up and follow. Hit the follow and see us come all the time. And check us out on YouTube. We have more videos on there for you to enjoy. And next week, as we said, we're going to be talking about what foods to eat to actually protect your kidneys against damage, whether you're diabetic or not. All right. So if you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Don't be stingy. Don't keep it all to yourself. Share it with someone. Someone may need it, someone who needs it. And kidney health is critical. If you know somebody that has been affected, what we're talking about is serious stuff. I know people, and so, I don't know, it's because of our professions. We see people and people who are close relatives who have gone through it, and it is not an easy thing when people are looking for help in terms of how to control them, in terms of getting transplant, going through what do you call it, dialysis. It's a hectic load, and especially if you have diabetes on top. My goodness, it's a whole new ball game that we don't want you to be in that. So please make sure that you share this video to people. Hit a thumbs up. Sometimes all you got to do is to hit a thumbs up and like, and the algorithm will share it to other people. So kidney health is critical, especially for those who are also managing diabetes.
If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our expert health tips. We bring you science-backed insights to help you live a healthier life. So don't forget to share and bring your comments so that it will help us pick the right topics so that we all discuss and learn together.
Yes, definitely. And actually, drop a comment below. What is one change that you are actually going to make today after watching this? I want to hear it. I want to see that we're making impact. What is that one change that you're going to make different to protect your kidneys, whether or not you have diabetes, whether or not you have hypertension? And we would love to hear from you.
And remember, your health is in your hands. So stay informed, stay proactive, and we will see you in the next video.
And with that, we say,
Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.